So after deer comes dogs. So the dog team unfortunately isn't that flexible. So obviously we're going to pick up Thonar because she's the primo unit for this boss. Freyr's almost in 99% of the teams because of his Ignite mitigation. And that's going to leave 2 slots. And of course that's going to go to our Slime duo because it's exactly who we're showcasing. So the card set's going to be the deer set this time around because we need to make sure that we are immune to freeze. Dogs do like to randomly freeze on phase 2 of each floor, so that'll help us mitigate that. And the gears are attack gears across the board again. Only difference is with Thonar. Back in the day when dogs came out, crit resistance was kind of the way to go. Teams have evolved a little bit. There's probably a lot more inherent buffing happening, so the crit resistance is probably not that important as it used to be, but obviously I'm not going to change it. The gears are already UR, they're fine where they're at. Then we also have Tarmiel on Thonar because she is our lowest HP unit. Dog targeting is usually going to go for that individual as long as everybody is topped off. So that's going to be the setup. We'll go ahead and jump into it. Alright, starting things off on floor 1, phase 1. I love that dogs only have 3 phases, right? That makes these fights a little bit faster. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to strong card phase 1 here. See if this one taps. Dogs are significantly tankier than deer, depending on your damage variance. This setup could not kill, but it also can kill. It just depends. We did manage to get the kill that time. Pretty much hit cap on all of our abilities there. We're going to hit phase 2. Now there is a damage cap on phase 2. It's almost always ideal to be able to one-tap the black dog here, okay? So if you strong card phase 1 and then the pull that you get here is ass, then you're probably going to want to not... I should have probably used that Thonar card first, but that's fine. You're probably not going to want to, you know, one turn the first phase, because you might need to save some cards for the second phase here. Now, unfortunately, Thonar doesn't get to attack, so her relic slash passive doesn't get to go off. I don't get the orb on Milim, which means I don't get my ult here. But that is probably okay. So, dogs are significantly squishier on the first floor phase 3. If I had some ults, we'd probably one-tap, but we're just going to use our normal cards here. We've got a couple buffs. The damage from the AoE... wow. The damage from the AoE alone. Rank 1 AoE, 1.8 mil. Knocks both dogs down. So that's going to be the first floor. Go ahead and move on. Now, if you're a little newer to this, the passive that we got is probably one of the worst ones to have. We have crit res and crit def down, so that was the whole reason, right, that a lot of the units, Thonar especially, were running crit resistance in the first place. And you have this combined with that passive. Before we had the units that we had now, it was almost always a reset if you wanted to not pull your hair out during the entire run. Obviously, we don't have to worry about that anymore. But like I said, if you're newer, yeah, that might be something to consider. So, I mean, white dog's already tanking our full strong card cycle, right? So you can see the tankiness is up there. Single target comes onto Thonar. If you get a bunch of Thonar single targets onto her, I should say, not her actual cards, a pretty good move is to lifesteal into the black dog. That's what a lot of people usually do. Just because the white dog's a little tankier, I believe. But we're fine. We're not worried about that. We will use a lot of these Thonar cards because that's going to max out our lifesteal. And it's also going to make sure that we push all of the orbs here, right? Because that's her relic. I think you get 5 counts of extra lifesteal, I want to say, for every time she uses an attack. And that's going to push everybody's ult by 1 as well. So we got 2 cards off that time. Not a lot, but a decent amount. Again, on phase 2, we're going to have that damage cap. We do want to make sure that we can hit cap, I should say. We want to make sure the black dog dies, right? Milim's got the attack down, so that's tough. Nobody's dissolved yet. So let me look at my cards. Actually, these cards are pretty good. Since Milim does have attack down, not sure if this is going to hit cap. So I think I'll just burn the Thonar ult because that is my worst ult here of the 2. I'd rather have that Freyr death damage double pop onto the next phase. Milim's still hitting cap, so the ult could have been a waste. We crit, which means we probably would have crit on one of the single targets. That definitely would have did 10% of his HP. Now, come phase 3, we definitely want to target the black dog. If the game goes on too long, he does extort. right? And then he also has, is it like Ruin or something? Co-Destruction, that's what it is. So we're lucky enough that he has 3 attacks right now, so that'll make targeting him a little more beneficial for us, because White Dog only has 1 attack. So if he dies here, you know, we're going to take very little damage. There's a good chance he does because of the Freyr death damage. Yep, looks good. Looks good, and we get that Freyr single target onto the White Dog. Now, this phase, they also do have a resurrection. It's kind of like a revive. If you hit them 5 times, then they get that buff. So you want to make sure that you can kill them within 5 moves. So we had to do 1 attack just earlier. So 2, 3, 4. If this doesn't kill, he gets the revive here. It should be fine, though. 311. I wonder if that's capped. I wasn't paying attention to that Freyr card. 323. A little above that, but still pretty smooth. Looks pretty good. Only really took... I don't think we took too much damage. Everybody lifesteals a good amount. Yeah, so we'll move on. Let's check our passive. I forgot to look at that. This time we have debuff Resonance, okay? So this is tough if you're not running Freyr, right? When all those ignites start coming down, they start doing weak point or co-destruction, then you combine that with these 2 buffs, you're dead. You're dead like 90% of the time there, so really, really important to have Freyr. I say 99% of the teams at the start, right? Because there are teams that don't need Freyr, right? You're doing a full human comp with Chainsaw Roxy, Ultimate Escanor. You don't need Freyr. You're going to one-tap literally everything on the dog. So the ignites are going to be irrelevant. Probably not going to be able to hit you at all. I think we actually did that a while ago. I think when I think one of the Escanors came out. Or was it when Blue Shin came out? Because he was a pretty good buffer. Not 100% sure. But another opportunity to push a bunch of Thonar cards because we have the ability to do so. Burn the AoE, and we'll burn this Freyr card. They're the weaker amongst the 4 or 5 cards that there was. I want to keep the Shion cards for the second phase. Make sure we one-tap Black Dog again. 1 mil on that, wow, okay. Looks like we get Thonar ults. Yada yada yada. So this is where the freeze kicks in. We got lucky last turn. Or last floor, we didn't get frozen. We're going to want to ult with Thonar, because she is dissolved. So you want to pay attention to that. You get a bunch of debuffs here, right? Dissolve here, defense down, froze, and ult lock. So, well, not ult lock, gauge lock. Shion did have a couple of my attacks. That is unfortunate. Now, I could unfreeze her. I'm not sure if it's worth doing. So when you hit 5 gauge, right, she gets unfrozen. But that requires me to use all of Thonar cards, which is probably not the move, because those are going to be very weak. So I should have no issues literally doing, like, probably... I want to keep this Freyr card so I can get his ult. Actually, if they die... No, he won't die. It'll take all 4 cards. I was going to say, if we manage to kill within 3 cards, the lock's probably gone, but I don't think that's going to happen, because none of these cards have an extra hit to them. That's fine, we don't need it. Alright, last phase, last 4. Our debuff is Start of Allies. Whoa, let me read it. Allies try to increase enemies' damage taken by 10%, excluding the enemies with the highest HP. Okay, so just dealing a bunch of damage, great. So, same strat again. We go for the Black Dog because he has an X-Store, we don't want to deal with that. And they don't have the revive passive. They're just a lot tankier than they need to be. So, let's see what we're working with. We have 2 stacks on Thonar there, which we probably just had a couple from the first turn. She's got the attack down, so I'm going to try not to attack with her, as if I wanted to in the first place. 2 ults, and we got some strong attacks. That looks good. Milim ult AoE for 754. Freyr with that double tap on death damage, looking good. Black Dog is finito. And Shion hitting pretty good. I wonder if 370 is the cap on this phase. Now this is an attack that would scale heavily with ignites, but again, we're chilling. We're safe. I want to say, is that also co-destruction? Oh, it's blaze. Well, you can't blaze me, dog, because We're chilling. We have the literal sun god, so we don't have to worry about any of that. And with those 2 extra attacks, that is going to finish off the dog. So, I mean, that was relatively fast, I'm not even gonna lie. Kind of a no-brainer. Gotta keep in mind a couple debuffs, but that's pretty much it. I'd say that's relatively easy. If you guys liked it, drop a thumb. Maybe so if you're into that, and I'll see you in the next one.